Good afternoon. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on this historic occasion. Pathway's very first annual community meeting. This is a big red letter day for us. My name is Eric Azariah. I am the chairman of the board, of Pathway's board, and also its president. I am deeply honored to welcome such a diverse and compassionate, and that really means a lot to us, that you're compassionate for others in need. Each of you was invited to this event because of the great support you have shown our organization over the years, and the true compassion you have shown to our neighbors who are experiencing the pain of hunger and enduring the crisis of homelessness. You make it impossible for our agency to give out thousands and thousands of pounds of food each year, over 200,000 meals to people facing the nightmare of food insecurity. You make it possible for Pathways to prevent and end homelessness for hundreds of people each year. People in North Orange County who are struggling and seeking hope. Do you see the mother holding her newborn baby? Her name is Chanel. Her daughter's name is Shalom. And you saved them both from homelessness. These are just two of the thousands of people whose lives have been touched by Pathways programs this year. I'm here today to thank you all for joining Pathways for our inaugural, our first annual community meeting, and hopefully not the last. But more importantly, I'm here to thank you for saving lives, because that's what your support makes possible, because you truly save lives. Thank you for your compassion. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you for helping struggling people in North Orange County. Thank you for saving lives of women like Chanel and children like Shalom. Thank you all. We really do appreciate it. And now, please join me in welcoming Pathways of Hope Executive Director and my colleague, David Gelandis.
Thank you, Eric. Appreciate that so much, and appreciate all of you for being here today. Obviously, this is our first annual community meeting, and one of the things that was really interesting when I came to this work and I came to this job, one of the things, and many people in this room told me this, okay? Pathways, let's say, we can all say it together, I think. Pathways of Hope is the best kept secret in town, right? We heard this a lot. I heard it all the time. They do such great work. You do amazing stuff, but it's just, not everyone knows about you. And so I said, well, hold on, stop. I come from the idea that if you do something really well, you should talk about it. You should tell people, hey, we're good at what we do, and we're proud of it, because why? That will allow us to do more of it for more of the community. So the purpose of this meeting is to really communicate to all of you who give so much to this agency and give so much to this community, exactly how we do our work, what we do, and how effective it is, and the impact it's having every single day on the lives of the people we're helping. And to us, that's everything. So just a couple quick things. I'm really happy to be here, really excited to see so many friends and folks in the room that we know. You're going to hear more about Chanel and Shalom shortly. I'm going to have Mishna Mohendra come join me in a moment. She's our Director of Programs and is really the person that is so deeply responsible for the day-to-day work with our folks that we help. You're going to hear a story about a client named Christine, who has done some amazing things with her journey from homelessness to being housed. And we're going to have a testimonial from a very important and special person that's been through some of our programming and has been an absolute a bellwether of success for what the programming and what Pathways of Hope can do in this community to be successful to help people. We're going to talk about our new mission and vision statement. We're extremely excited about that. Eric's going to come back up and talk about that and talk about how that dovetails really nicely into the future of Pathways, and I'm going to come back up and actually talk about that. We have some exciting things we're working on. I think some of you probably know about some of it, and there's more to come. So I'm really going to be excited to hear feedback and talk with you all about what we expect in the future of Pathways. I'm going to ask Michael to play a short video that we just kind of had some fun with recently. Part of the benefit of having a first career in entertainment is I know some people with some cameras. So they came out and made a little video that kind of demonstrates sort of who we are as Pathways and what we're doing. So take a look.
Here at Pathways of Hope, we operate with two simple ideas in mind: that no one in our community should go hungry, and that everyone should have access to a quality home. Since 1975, that has been the core, the philosophy of our work here in Northern Orange County. We do it through numerous means. We have emergency shelter for families and individuals, permanent housing for our community's most vulnerable residents, rapid rehousing for those folks who are just recently homeless that just need a help up, and finally, eviction prevention for those families who struggle in tough economic times. To everyone, every single person that comes to Pathways of Hope seeking our services, we just have one simple message for you. I'm David Glanders, Executive Director of Pathways of Hope. To everyone in the community that supports us, trusts us, and invests in us to do this work, we thank you. For those of you who want to take on homelessness and hunger in your community, come join us.
Watching that with my wife and my kids is one thing. Watching it with my staff is one thing. Watching it with you, even though you're all my friends, and I know a lot of you, is something else. I'm terribly embarrassed, but I do want to thank my co-star, the Butterfly, who arrived at just the right time and really put the icing on the take. And that was take number 14 before you asked. It was definitely a fun day. We had a lot of fun as a staff, and I think that is definitely one of the things that we like to get across is we work hard. We have a lot of fun doing our work as hard as it can be from time to time, and that's really what pulls us together as a staff. And one of the people I want to introduce now, Nishta Mahendra, our Director of Programs, is a good example of how much fun and hard work and creativity we can have as staff to move forward with the work of ending hunger and homelessness. So take it away, Nish.
Well, we know for sure the fun side of the program, David takes care of. So I get the interesting part. My name is Nishta Mahendra, and I'm the Director of Programs. It's an honor to be here amongst all you people who've done so much for the community. I learn every day at my job. Just to start us off on a little bit about what Pathways does in the programs, our ecosystem in the housing side consists of the entire continuum. The video elaborated on that a little bit. We have 2 emergency shelters, we have transitional housing program, all the way to permanent housing. So I thought a lot about how to best present what we do and what our impact is. To all the nerds in the room who numbers appeal to, I figured I'll start there. And so in the first 5 months, just to give you a little snapshot of the impact that we've had, is through our sheltering services, we've been able to help almost 264 people, and this includes 155 children. I'll let you sit with that number a little bit. And our efforts have helped them escape homelessness. And this can look different for different people. People living in their RVs and cars, people living on the street, families living in the riverbed. So it's a combination of the individuals and people that we work with. In the same light, so far this year, our efforts with the Rapid Rehousing Program, which is an element of the permanent housing, we've been able to help 40 people who are living in their own apartments across Orange County, and these include 23 children. They've all been successfully able to find permanent housing and living in their apartments, and we continue to offer them supportive case management services up to a year. So we don't just have people move into their apartments and goodbye, we continue working with them, which I feel is a really good element of what Pathways brings to the program. In addition, we've also helped 10 chronically homeless people who found permanent housing through our permanent supportive housing efforts. The second leg of what we do in terms of programs in line with our mission include our effort to end hunger and the experience of people experiencing hunger in North Orange County. And in our efforts to address it, this year so far, we've helped approximately 6,000 people. This includes 4,000 children, and they've received nutritious food at our Hub of Hope Food Distribution and Resource Center, located very close to where we are right now. I'd say about 1.5 miles from here. And just for a little bit of an idea, these meals translate into about, these number of people translate into about 56,682 meals that were provided to our neighbors. And last but not the least, at the same site, we also provide a number of other client services other than food. And the total of those services look like 6,409. And this includes providing transportation resources like bus pass, helping with clothing vouchers, basic necessities like hygiene kits, diapers, life skills classes, which include tenant rights and responsibilities learning, and any other life skill class that our neighbors will be struggling with. Also references to other referrals to other community resources, including California Photo ID. So a whole lot happens there, and this is just to elaborate the different style of work and the different areas that we cover through Pathways of Hope. Next, I'd like to talk about Chanel and her beautiful baby. Chanel and Tyson came to our shelter back, actually right before the Christmas holidays. And they were living in the riverbed at the time. So the healthcare agency approached us and talked to us about how we could help them and offer them a shelter. Thanks to Anaheim and our partnership with the city and the proactive steps that the city takes, we were actually able to help the family move into our shelter in Anaheim. The mother was pregnant, the partner had criminal history, so it took a lot of legwork on our end to make sure that we can continue supporting them. I'm really happy to report they're now living in their own apartment. Thank you. It's really efforts of all the folks on this table, including Pam. Tyson has found a full-time job. The baby's doing really well. We continue offering them case management services, and it's been really such a transition that we've seen the family go through. So we really thought this would be a good opportunity to share with you in the current realm of our discussions around what the riverbed liquidation has looked like, a moment to celebrate successes. That's really what this effort is. We are continuing to grow, and one of our next steps in our effort to address homelessness is by focusing on prevention services. While ending homelessness for people around us, it is critical to our aim, but in our commitment to lead from the front, we will also work to reduce the number of people who access the homeless system. And by that I mean people who are entering the emergency shelters. So really being intentional with the prevention and diversion piece, and talking to people about resolving and doing creative solutions using and leveraging existing resources, we're really starting that conversation up here in North Orange County. So that's kind of the future of what our programming would look like. And now we have the unique opportunity to hear the journey of one of the people whose life have been impacted by these varied programs. Christine entered our emergency shelter in Fullerton in April earlier this year, and is now living in her own apartment since May of 2018. Unfortunately, Christine was not able to make it here, but it's a good news, and I'll let Tamika, who's her case manager, share a little bit more about her journey and her story when Christine was with us. So may I please invite on stage Tamika Hai, who's our case manager at Fullerton.
Good afternoon, everyone. Of course, like Nisha said, I'm not Christine, but I had the pleasure of working with her, and she came in with many, many challenges. She was recently at the time separated from her husband, who was not so much physically abusive, but verbally abusive. She had 3 small children, and she had run out of resources with living with her family at the time, and they were her grandparents, and it hurt them to even tell her that she had to leave. But she knew that that was going to be a short-lived situation. They told her, we'll help you for a short amount of time, and in that time allotted, she was not able to get employment, and she was facing an eviction, and there was many things going on, and she just felt like, I'm not going to put this stress on my grandparents. They've been a blessing. They've helped me along my journey, and I have to do something about it on my own. The issue she was facing was she didn't want to go to a domestic violence shelter because she felt like that wasn't something that was fitting her need at the time, but she knew she needed a shelter, and she knew she needed somewhere to go for her 3 children and herself. So when I met her, the first case management meeting, she was unemployed, scared. She had no plan. She revealed a number of challenges she was facing. She felt like she had no say in the financial when she was married, so she didn't know anything as far as what bills were being paid, what was not being paid. So a lot of things she didn't know that until later. Her husband had put many, many bills in her name, and now her credit was now suffering. So we started from there by pulling her credit report and just kind of seeing what was her options. And she was so proactive. This young lady, she came and she met with me once or sometimes twice a week with a game plan. And like I tell all the families that come in, I'm just the vehicle, you all are the driver. So however fast you want to go, that's how fast we go. However slow or the pace you want to take, I'm here with you. Whatever resources you need me to link you to, I'm here. And this young lady came back, we had a resident council meeting with my supervisor, Sarah. And after that meeting, she just, it was like a fire lit under her. She just, the very next day, she said, okay, here's what I want to do. I have experience as a paralegal. I'm not certified yet, but I want to get to that later. She said, but I want to find a job in paralegal. I'm not taking anything less. I said, well, all right. I said, well, let's start with some temp agencies. I said, let's start there, because if you want to get a job fast, that might be your best way to go. And I want to say a week later, she got a temp job paying $19.50. But prior to that, her truck had got repossessed because it was in her husband's name. And she had got a ticket, and the ticket led it to Hathaway. And she was so devastated because she said, how am I going to get to work now? And she reached out yet again to her grandparents, and they said, we'll get you to work. They were so excited to see how proactive that she was being on her own, that they said, don't worry about it. We'll make sure the kids get to school. We'll make sure the baby gets to daycare. We'll do everything we need to do. And so we reached out to the Needlework Guild to get her some business clothes. She didn't have anything to go to work with. And then after that, she said, I don't want to stay here past my 30 days. I said, great, let's get started. This woman was so amazing to me because I don't get that a lot. And I told you, I'm ready to go. You're in a Ferrari at this point. And so she went and started looking. And prior to that, we got her matched for rapid rehousing. So I said, okay, now you're matched. So which means that someone will help you, will help you get your first month's rent deposit. She was like, what? I said, yes. So all we need to know is find a place. So a young lady, the landlord's name was Joanna, I think, and she called me. She said, do you know a lady by the name of Christine? And I was like, I'm not sure I can talk to you about this. I said, can I have your number? And I'll give you a call back. So I called Christine. I said, Christine, somebody named Joanne is talking to me. I have the form that will give me the authorization to talk to her. Can I? She said, yes, please. That's the landlord. I was like, okay. So I called Joanne back and I just explained everything, and I did not know Christine went in there and was way candid than I thought she was gonna be. And she told her from A to Z what she was going through, but whatever she said, and however candid she was, this landlord was so willing to work with Christine. And she said, I just want to thank you guys for helping her. I said, well, we helped and we were there for her when she needed us. But I've got to say, I have to give credit where credit is due. This young lady took the rein by the bull, and she did it all work, the leg work. I was just here to help her. She said, well, I like her. She said, so what's the next step? So I said, okay, this is what the paperwork needs to be done. That landlord did everything in a day. And Christine actually left our shelter before the 30 days was up. She totally came in, she utilized our resources. She was so determined, and I mean, the challenges this woman faced, most of the people there probably would have just, just shattered, but she took it, and she knew that she didn't want to stay where she was, and I was more honored, honestly, and I've told her that before, that I was more honored to work with someone who took these challenges and saw how, that she knew she had nothing, but she turned her whole life literally around in a matter of maybe 25 to 27 days. And so that, she was here, I would tell her how amazing she is. Hence, she's working, so she couldn't be here, and I'm so happy. She was one of the ones that, really stand out, even to me now. This has been a couple months ago, but I will always sing her praises because I just appreciate the challenges she faced and the lack of support she had. Even though her grandparents were there, she utilized every resource at Pathways, from our weekly meetings to our life skills program to our career-wise. She got her resume, every resource she utilized at Pathways. And so I have nothing but high praises to sing to her name. Thank you.
Thank you, Tamika, for taking the time to share that inspiring story with all of us. Our next order of events includes awarding our Employee of the Year. The Pathways of Hope Employee of the Year program recognizes and rewards exemplary performance by one of our team members. This is based both on the performance of their responsibilities and on their specific contribution to the organizational missions, goals, and values. It is now my pleasure to take this opportunity to announce, and may I invite on stage Ms. Sarah McClellan. Sarah is our housing program manager, and Sarah, your personal commitment to excellence and quality is obvious in everything you do. Your dedication to seeing a project through is second to none, and that really contributes to the success of our team. Enough can never be said about your positive attitude and your ability to listen to others' ideas with concern and an open mind, which helps create an environment of mutual respect and where relationships flourish. I personally value and admire your work ethic and the ability to lead the team of our case managers. It is a pleasure having you part of the team. Congratulations. Would you like to say a few words?
I don't think I have a choice. This truly is an honor. I think when she told me, I don't like surprises, so and she knows that. So she told me that I was getting this award, but then when she said it was being presented here, that was a whole different story. But it's truly an honor, and it's very humbling. I do the work because of people like Miranda. Sorry.
Let's give her a round of applause.
The clients are why I do what I do. It's really been great. I started off as a case manager. I still am partially a case manager, but I oversee, my team is amazing. Tamika is one of them. Jackie Nolan is also one of them. She's a rock star as well. Yeah, we have 2 Jackies, so Jackie Nolan is J-No in our office. But I couldn't do this work without the support of David and Nisha and our upper management, as well as my team. My team completely makes what we do possible, and I just help them, really. But it's really great, and I've seen this last year how much we've changed as an organization, and it's just inspiring for me to continue this journey with them. And again, under the leadership of David and Nisha, I'm super excited for what the future has for Pathways of Hope. So, thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarah, and congratulations. You truly deserve it. Permanent Supportive Housing Program presents an opportunity that helps eligible people find a permanent home and get local mental health services. It boosts people's power to choose their own living arrangements and get services that are flexible based on their need and their wants. We now have a rare opportunity to listen to one of our community members who has benefited from this program. May I please invite on stage Miranda, who has agreed to share with us her journey.
This is not going to be easy for me, so I'm just going to start with when I was 15, I was diagnosed with bipolar 1 and attention deficit disorder, and I was hospitalized, and that's when my hospitalization started. And I think I was hospitalized 7 times before I was 25, and then I started doing drugs. Sorry. By the time I was 32, I was on and off, 30, on and off the streets. My parents would take me in. I lived in New Orleans, which is a very difficult place to live if you don't want to do drugs and drink. But I wanted to. Because when I was 26, I was raped and became pregnant and subsequently chose to have an abortion. I felt that was the best choice for not only me, but the child. When I was, I put in here, I would be on and off the streets in New Orleans. I would get into fights. I was sexually assaulted, and I was in and out of jail. When in March of 2015, I was raped, and because of this one, I took off to Atlanta. I got a bus ticket and just left, and ended up being homeless and doing drugs in Atlanta until I was arrested there, and ended up finding out I was pregnant in jail. When I got out, I miscarried. Luckily, I didn't have to make any kind of choices this time, but it was hard. I wanted to make a change in Atlanta, but it's difficult being homeless and on probation in a state like that. It was for a small drug possession charge, but I was on a 2-year felony probation, and I couldn't find a place to go. Most homeless shelters in Atlanta, you have to have a note from the courts, and they didn't give me one. You have to, what was it that, I get disability, was what it was. And they said because of that, I would have to go to a hospital, and they would have to put me in a facility and then in a sober living home. So going to an actual shelter was very difficult. They had food kitchens, but, and getting around Atlanta was a lot harder than here because where I had been arrested, it was horrible. And I ended up relapsing and marrying the man I relapsed with. And after a month of being with him, he became very abusive, and I ended up in the hospital when I got out, I came home and all of my things had been thrown out. And that's when I got my parents to let me come home back to New Orleans, where I was going to try to change. It lasted about 2 months before I relapsed again and was back on the streets. In January of, that's okay. In January of 2016, me and my husband had reconnected, and he was now in San Diego. He offered to fly me out and help me, get my life back together, or at least take care of me so I could be a drug addict. And I was currently on not parole. I had been bonded out of jail for a misdemeanor charge, and before I left for California, my mom revoked it. So I ended up doing the 34 days in jail. And when I was released, that's when I came to San Diego to be with my husband, who I was in and out of hotel rooms doing drugs, and it was horrible. Until one day he disappeared on me, and a way that I would find people to stay with and do drugs with was I would get on the internet and I would just, go to Craigslist, and you'd be surprised. I met someone from San Clemente who picked me up, and we got high, and he took me to the pier, and we got in a fight, and he left me there. And I ended up wandering the streets of San Clemente until I met some more homeless people who took me to Laguna. And in Laguna, I got arrested for picking flowers. Well, not for picking flowers. I was picking flowers in front of a bank, and they stopped me. It was 3 in the morning. And they arrested me for possession because I had meth on me. By the way, I used to shoot up methamphetamine, and I'm happy to say I don't anymore, but I ended up going to the shelter there. They have an emergency shelter in Laguna, and because of my arrest, I started going there so I could take care of my court charge, which was possession of meth, just like Atlanta, but it was a misdemeanor, and I felt being arrested, it was I'm gonna be honest, it helped me to change. It made me feel like I could change. Atlanta, I wanted to change, but it was so hard, and then California, it's I really had hope that if I wanted to change, I could, so I tried. And I ended up being raped in the parking lot at the emergency shelter, and that's when I reached out to it's PACT, the OC Mental Health, was trying to help people, and they helped me get into the Friendship Shelter, which is the more long-term facility to help you get housed, and it's through them that I was fortunate enough to be hooked up with Pathways of Hope, where because of them I can now say I'm sober. I have a healthy relationship with my parents. In fact, they visited me, I didn't say 3-4 times since I've gotten housed, and they even took me on a vacation to England. So I volunteer now on Mondays and Fridays at the Friendship Shelter to show how much I appreciate all they've done for me. I'm currently trying to pursue a degree in drug and counseling, alcohol counseling. I'm having some trouble because of financial issues, but I'm going to apply at Santiago because they have free courses I can take on specifically drug and alcohol counseling. So, and I have my dog that lives with me, and she's great. She helps keep me focused and sober because, she's important. And I also just got a kitten, so, and it's all thanks to the help I received from Pat Fullerton and from Pathways of Hope and from the Friendship Shelter and from all of you. Thank you so much. I really don't think I would be alive today. So, thank you.
Thank you so much, Miranda. Thank you so much for being brave and being willing to share your story with us. We truly appreciate it. And now may I please invite David to join us back on stage.
That's why I do this work. That's why I changed careers. That's why I came to this place. This is my community and my neighborhood. And every day I see dozens of Mirandas walking the street. And I want for them the same experience she has had, finding the help she needs to be housed and to not have those experiences again, and carry on with her life in a productive way, and to be happy and fulfilled. Sorry. One of the reasons Miranda's been able to be successful is her courage and her commitment to wanting to be the person she is today and to move forward with her life. But that comes as a partnership with resources in the community that can help with those kinds of situations. One of the things Miranda was talking about is her time with Pathways of Hope has been in a program model called permanent supportive housing. Permanent supportive housing is really, when you think about our folks who live on the street every day, and as I said, I see dozens of them every day. And I live in Old Town Orange. I see them there. I see them here in my work in Fullerton, Anaheim. What a lot of our folks need who do have the biggest obstacles to overcome, mental health, physical disabilities, substance abuse, what they need is a model called permanent supportive housing, which really says to somebody, we can give you a house, we can give you a foundation, we can give you a place to live. And then we can give you the supportive services you need and the things to wrap you around with that can help you move on and become productive and go get your degree in drug and alcohol counseling and get a cute kid, because everyone should have a kid, right? I mean, I do believe that for sure. So for Pathways of Hope, and when I came on here and I had the pleasure of joining this amazing organization, one of the priorities I had for us was at some point I wanted us to get into this work, because this is the work that ends homelessness for our community. And that was important to me, and I felt that was our next evolution of where we need to go, was to do that on a larger scale. So a little bit about permanent supportive housing. And I'm going to thank Jen, who's here on behalf of the Associated Cities of California, Orange County. ACCOC has been working on a plan since, I'm sure many of you are familiar with the federal lawsuit that's been going on. Judge Carter's name, a lot of folks know it with respect to cities being sued and things of that nature around homelessness. ACCOC has been working alongside multiple stakeholders in developing a plan so that we can produce and develop about 2,700 units of permanent supportive housing so that we can get everybody off the street who need housing first, before they can deal with any of their other things that are going on, their co-occurring conditions in their life, so that they can move forward in a productive way. Pathways of Hope wants to be an active player and an active partner in that work. That's what is important to us, because our job is to end homelessness for people, and that's what we want to do. So, in conjunction with the ACCOC plan, with the other things that are going on at the county level, with the need for us to address our homeless situation in a way that's productive and gets things done, we are working closely with this plan. One of the things to know about permanent supportive housing is that I think of it in terms of there's really three ways where it addresses homelessness that I think one, if you can maybe love one, you can maybe love two, I love all three. So the first one is cost savings. It is more expensive to have our chronically homeless folks living on the street than it is to put them in a unit. It's about a 2-to-1 ratio. It costs about $100,000 a year per the UCI study to have somebody living on the street, and it costs about $50,000 to house them safely. So you talk about quality of life for communities, you talk about community health, that's the other issue. And then finally, it's the right thing to do. Orange County buried 202 chronically homeless people last year. 202. There's a memorial service in December of every year at Christ Cathedral that honors those people. And I was there last year, and it was very hard. And it's this kind of work that can save those lives that we want to be a part of. So that's important to us. So I want to talk about this slide, which Michael and I were in my office one day looking at, like, this is really kind of emblematic of what we're trying to get accomplished. What we think of in terms of housing is really the same as the key brick in every arch you will ever see. The keystone, the thing that holds the whole thing together. For our chronically homeless population, for our homeless population, for our vulnerable population, for all of us in this room, a home and a house is the thing that makes everything else that's productive in our lives possible. It is the cornerstone. It is most importantly the keystone, because it is the glue, so to speak, that holds everything together. So our efforts, which are probably not a mystery to a lot of people in this room, revolve around a parcel of land at 1600 Commonwealth. Here's some drone footage of it you can take a look at. The same guy who made our video also did the drone footage, so thanks to him. So on this plot of land, since about February of this year, I've been in regular conversation. We've all been in regular conversation. Our board of directors has been amazing. Our staff has been great. With city staff and the city of Fullerton around what would be possible, how would it be possible to have 60, 70, maybe 80 stories of lives saved on this property. And we can do it. We know we can do it. This parcel of land, some of you are longtime Fullertonians may remember this was the Morehouse Mustard facility, although the rumor is they never made mustard there. They made machinery to help mustard machines, which I found out this week, which is interesting. Because I always drove by as a kid, I was like, oh, Mom, cool, look, it's the mustard place. I like mustard, but well, no mustard to be found. But this property is something that we've looked at and discussed and talked about and wanted to work with the city on developing, because what we need to do is, for those people we see walking around the streets, this is the kind of facility that we're proposing that we build, the kind of beautiful apartment community with services attached to it, is what we need to solve the problem. And we want to call it Keystone on Commonwealth, because to us, going back to the original idea that a keystone really is the idea, the core principle behind having a safe environment where you can recover from different things, where you can move on, where you will no longer be homeless, where you will save taxpayers money and have community health and all those things improve. That is our goal. And so this is somewhat symbolic of the future of Pathways in terms of what we want to try to get accomplished in this community, and not just in Fullerton. Pathways of Hope serves the entire northern region of North Orange County. We want to replicate this in other cities. We want to continue to do this work, because this is what will make a dent in what I think we can all agree has become a fairly significant issue in Orange County. So, with all of that said, I am going to go ahead and invite Eric back up to the stage to talk a little bit about some more changes that we are making, a little bit more about our future. Thanks, Eric.
Thank you, David. I have had the pleasure and the honor of supporting Pathways of Hope for over 20 years. I began volunteering for the agency in 1989 when our organization was still called Fullerton Interfaith Emergency Service, or otherwise FIES for short. I have served on the board of directors since 2006 and as the chairman of the board and president since 2015, following our wonderful Barbara Jennings. Thank you. I have seen firsthand how our agency has grown and expanded its services to provide the highest quality of care to many of our struggling neighbors as possible. And we definitely do not follow a one-size-fits-all. Everything is tailored to the individual client. Thanks to our diverse network of supporters, represented by you here today, our agency has touched the lives of over 600,000 people since our founding. Thanks to you, Pathways is able to meet the needs of thousands of struggling people every year with a varied array of programs and services. With growth comes change, and Pathways is dedicated to adapting to change. We have an exciting change to share with you today. I am honored to have this chance to unveil our brand new mission and vision statements created this year by our board of directors in participation with our staff. You are the very first people outside our agency to see our new vision and vision. This is an exciting day for Pathways, as it inspires and directs what we do each and every day. Let's take a look at our current mission. This is our mission. We aim through a faith-based community effort of prevention and support services to build self-sufficiency and end hunger and homelessness for families and individuals in need. Our vision is to grow as a faith-based collaborative to end homelessness and hunger in our community through prevention, assistance, and aftercare support services to develop lives of sustained economic independence. As many of you know, Pathways was founded as Fullerton Interfaith Emergency Service, better known as FIES, in 1975. This was one of the premier and founding agencies dealing with homelessness in this area. FIES was created when a diverse group of faith leaders decided to act and set aside their maybe a little different beliefs and join together to achieve a common goal to end hunger. I wish Barbara Johnson had been able to join us today. She was the first executive director of FIES, and she can tell you great stories. And I've known her for many years, and believe me, she does have great stories about the early days when she and her fellow founders would drive all around Fullerton and serve meals to people in need out of the trunks of their cars. Today, our Hub of Hope distribution center is located in the Richmond Park community. It provides 1,000 North Orange County residents with food services each year. In addition, we offer life skills classes, California photo ID referral services, as Nishta mentioned so well, hygiene kits, diapers, transportation assistance, clothing vouchers, and community services and resources. As you can see, our food distribution center has evolved and expanded in the 43 years we worked together with our partners in the community. Another area of Pathways' evolution and expansion has been our housing services. In 1986, Pathways opened our first shelter. This is our New Vista shelter. For 32 years, it has been a place of safety and stability for families escaping homelessness. But today, Pathways of Hope's housing services extend far beyond our New Vista shelter. We operate a total of 4 shelters and 3 rapid housing programs, plus a supportive housing program and a homelessness prevention program. Pretty remarkable, isn't it? Over the course of my time as a supporter of Pathways, I have seen firsthand how our network of partners has grown exponentially. And as our networks have expanded and diversified, I have seen our programs and services grow to better serve our struggling neighbors throughout the North Orange County area. And we were blessed to have some of our clients testify today about their experiences. Thank you for sharing that. I know it wasn't easy to do. Donors, business, government officials, faith leaders, you are here today representing our diverse network of advocates, partners, and champions. Within the fabric of Hope, Pathways of Hope founding, and throughout the tapestry of FIVE's and Pathways history, there is one fundamental belief that has driven our organization's growth and success. We are always stronger when we work together, and together we can make a lasting difference in the lives of our neighbors in need. And that means each and every one of you, thank you so much for being here. And you all make a real difference in our lives. This is the belief that has informed our new vision and mission and vision statements. Are you ready to see them?
Woohoo!
Okay, here is our new mission statement. Here is our new mission statement. We lead a community effort to provide access to food, shelter, and housing to those experiencing hunger and homelessness in North Orange County. Our new vision statement is we envision a community dedicated to ending hunger and homelessness in North Orange County. I have seen firsthand the growth of this community and the power it has to change lives. And I went to, as a personal note, I went to school here, and I'm very proud of being a part of Fullerton. I know you're all here because you believe that together we can really make a difference. We have the power to end hunger and homelessness for struggling people in North Orange County. We know that working together, this vision will become a reality. But we can't do it without you. It really takes all of us working together to make it happen. So I thank you for your past support of Pathways of Hope, and I ask you to continue to stand with us to make the difference for our brothers and sisters in need. Stand with us and support our new Keystone program, as David told you so well about. Stand with us to make a lasting difference for people who are struggling and seeking hope. Help us continue to grow, evolve, and adapt, as we have done over the years, and I was blessed to be a part of that. We can change, and we will change. Help us provide solutions to the complex problems of hunger and homelessness in our region. The future of women like Chanel, Christine, and Miranda depends on you. Together, we can create a community dedicated to ending hunger and homelessness in North Orange County. This may seem like a big leap, but we really believe, both the board, and I thank all of them for being part of this effort, and all of us wonderful staff. Thank you so much for your dedication, because without you, and all of you are donors, because without you, we could not be making the difference. Remember, we are stronger when we work together, and together we can make a lasting difference in the lives of our neighbors in need. And as you've seen firsthand, some of them just need a hand up, not a hand up. So this is what we're all about, and this is what we truly believe. Thank you so much.
This is the part where I get to excuse you all on your merry way and have an awesome day. Thank you so much for being here. This was really, truly special. I think we accomplished everything we wanted to do. We just wanted to have a conversation with you all about the work we're doing and the work we see in our future. And thank you all for being a part of that work. So have a great day. We look forward to talking to you more as we move along with some of these projects, and have a good one. Thanks for being here.